long time. So he's very well known in the competitive Ultimate scene.
Yeah, I mean, they've both had their fair share of breakout performances at Super Majors, but both of them are just behemoths in our own region too. And this is one of those things where match number 11 could go either way. I mean, 6-4, that's basically 50-50. We're flipping a coin at this point, but the better player is going to come out on top.
I also think it's been a hot minute since they played. Ned hasn't been at too many of the local events these days.
Yeah, and imagine most of those 6-4 matches are Pokemon Trainer, but now we are in the Sephiroth era.
And what a snipe of an Aerith killer to take the first stock in a dramatic fashion.
Not the Aerith killer, man. I don't think that was not the canonic name. I thought we rooted against that.
Yeah, Hell's Gate is the canonic name. Thank you, production. So Battlefield's the pick.
Anyways, if you know Sephiroth, you know he's a glass cannon. I mean, and
he absolutely could
against
die
Ryu, you spawn at kill percent. So it's not going to be too hard for Ikan to level things if he can find his way into this wall of back airs.
You talked about using these platforms as a fortress, and that's exactly what Ned's plan was. Just putting the platform in between, taking away any kind of nair approach between the platform and then the giant sword, right? Really hard for Ikan to get in at the moment.
Yeah, the giant sword is basically its own character. It's like a 2v1. Now Wing is on deck, but Ikan saying, I don't care, taking his first stock.
What a perfect angle for Ikan to sneak in under the counter. That counter would have been really like a violent turnaround and given Ned so much stage control, but instead we are even Steven.
Yeah, a lot of the counters in this game will have that thing where have that vertical presence where they'll go under a little bit too, but Sephiroth is very much just in front of you.
Oh, and there's another grab release. I think Ikan was definitely looking for just like an early cheesy kill.
Right, those grab releases can convert into the world sometimes when you're these fighting game characters.
Yeah, with this rage in Ikan's pocket, he probably would have killed Ned at like that 50% mark, so Ned needs to play super careful. Yeah. He will take these free hits on the focus, though. They do a little bit less, I think it's 50% damage, but
it's
free
nice,
damage.
Though, because, yeah, against Sephiroth, you're not dealing with too many multi-hits, so you can get away with a lot of these focuses back to stage. And, I mean, Ned just has to respect it sometimes. Goes for the call-out down smash, though. Gonna whiff, take a fireball, and he's a little bit pressed to the right side of the stage right now.
Yeah, Ned saw that shield get to a tiny pebble size and needed to jump out of there, use all those jumps in the one wing. Just create as much space as he can. Woo. What a sneaky recovery from Ikan. Did not expect him to go that high, and neither did Ned.
Yeah, and they're just taking turns sending each other to the left and right side of the stages. Ikan, though, holding onto this stock like a legend.
And that means Ned's win con is, that forward tilt at a safe distance or those back airs. Ikan does not mind. At this point, Ikan, like, all the damage is just free real estate, right? 175, you're playing with, like, an extra stock. Basically.
Right. It's like the I didn't expect to live this long anyway mentality, so I'm going to make riskier plays or make safer plays to get as much extra credit as possible. But we are equalized. We are at a one-stock game here in this game one. Top 8 losers.
This is just what we ask for if you're a fan of Chicago Smash, right? You want these games to go to the wall.
Whoa!
Hello?
Geometry. He pulled out the protractor, said, I need this angle. And wow, he didn't like directly convert off of that focus attack. And instead just got the spike to the blast zone. And I don't know if you could hear on production, but Chicago getting loud for their boy. Even though they're both their boys in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, yeah, but Ikan will always be the crowd favorite. He's just, again, if you meet the man in person, just absolutely pleasant individual. Loves talking to anyone. He's one of the friendliest people you'll ever meet, so he's obviously going to be a crowd favorite. But Ned looking to silence that crowd as we go to Pokemon Stadium.
That's one of those things where I'm like, okay, you think you can't be surprised by Ryu after watching him for so long? And then it's one of those things that really just catch you off guard, and you're like, dang.
Yeah, the thing that threw off that all the equation there on that last stock was the side beat from Sephiroth.
Yeah.
It forced a scramble situation, and Ikan just was so confident in that scramble. Okay, there's a multi-hit attempt at stopping a focus that looked a little Randy Scrandy, right? Like, what are you doing? Going for that up strange angle. But if you think he's focusing on the way down and going to drift to the left, That was Ned's call out.
Right, that's free damage, and that's a lot of damage from the multi-hit to that, but that's even more damage in terms of a stock for Ikan.
Catch that American air dodge going to avoid any attempt at shoryuing to the ledge, right?
Literally.
Because shoryuing to the ledge is a commitment, even if you do find the perfect angle. Oh,
but yeah,
and the
struggling to land, Ikan, no stranger to catching these landings himself, and now just making it a two-stock game.
Yeah. Burst damage. Going both ways here in this set in top 8 losers.
Yeah, Ned's gonna stack so much percentage onto Ikan there. A little side B action comboed with a grab. You're just waiting to detonate and take 40%.
And this is gonna be exactly the same setup as game number 1. Ned knows when that shoryu is timed if you have to go that low.
It's hard, man. I mean, when you're in those vertical situations as a character with a vertical recovery, you're almost easy pickings. You can mix it up and stall a little bit with certain characters, but I mean, once you're Ned and you get a feel for it, your window to hit it is quite large.
And, you can visually see it when Ned did that down air to the platform, how low that sword goes under the platform. It's like a whole character under the platform, right?
Right. It's like one of those things where obviously it's not the easiest thing in the world, but the window to hit it is way larger than most characters. It is one of the very much
sneaky focus.
Yeah.
Perfectly timed by Ikan to just nullify that side B and allow him to land back to the stage.
Just when you thought you had a grasp of Ikan's focus patterns, he starts pulling them out like that, you know?
Okay, this is definitely Ned's game to lose now. As that guy gets sent
Huge
so far
counter.
away, and it even shows the sparks. I thought that would just be a soft counter, but you see how powerful it is against these linear recoveries.
Yeah, Ned with brilliant answers to especially the low recoveries, you know? The horizontal ones are a little tougher, and sometimes he's higher up in the air, so they're even harder to react to. But he really showed that you don't want to recover vertically against him.
It's not necessarily vertically or horizontally, it's just predictably, right?
Yeah.
Ned is going to have that timing on lock. He is a veteran for a reason, and you need to take advantage of the weaknesses of any of the 96 characters on this cast. So that is good stuff to Ned as he ends up this set 1 game apiece. We are going to Hollow Bastion, I believe I heard the music for.
I mean, it makes sense when Ryu's deleting characters at like 40 to 60% sometimes.
Oh yeah, and Sephiroth is vulnerable to the 40% death. That's one of the lightest characters in the game.
And tall, for that matter.
Oh yeah, easy to combo. And now there's less platforms to hide under, especially when in the ledge scenario, and that's exactly why I can pick this stage, I have to think.
He's going to stick a side B on him.
Woo!
Try to react to maybe like a roll back.
That would have beat the focus. Remember we saw Ikan focus those balls, the side B balls? Whoop. And there, okay, so there you go for the horizontal recovery. It was just at a timing that Ned did not predict.
Right. Okay, so he just has to hit these verticals at timing he doesn't predict.
Pivot grab, very slick, and
yeah, catches the punch's reach and makes his grab just look insanely long.
Ikan's recovery just a little bit too short. I wonder if he missed like the perfect input on shoryu to recover?
The chorus in this song just adding so much tension to this match, and Ned adding even more tension to the right side of the stage over here.
Kingdom Hearts music is known for its drama. That is a fact.
True that.
Shoutouts to Yoko Shimomura, of course. Brilliant composer.
Sephiroth being a slight part of that drama.
And there, now he's trying to hunt for the horizontal recovery, just using that little forward air potency. But there goes a Sephiroth. In the blink of an eye, you missed it.
If you're Ikan, you really needed that. Obviously, you can kill at any point, but you don't want to keep taking damage before you can get rid of that first stock. That's more so even a mental hurdle sometimes, but Ned, he keeps taking him to this right side of the stage and holding it so well. Ikan gonna find his way in though, let out a few blows of himself.
And just barely missing that second up air, which could have been the ladder combo that Ikan needed. With all this rage, this is actually kind of a scary spot for Ned if he falls victim to another up air.
Oh my
see you later, Shield!
He was gonna charge Giga Flare and said, you know what, here's this.
Any smash attack would have done, really.
Yeah, there's an abundance of smash attacks in this game, or down smash attacks in particular, that'll just take your shield to town. And Sephiroth's down smash is one of them.
Especially when it's just spaced perfectly and it like lands on center of the shield, right?
No way literally makes it look like a bubble's being popped. Great reaction to up B again. Ikan, no stranger to making the most.
Oh, there you go.
Goodness. The hardest call out from Ikan, or from Ned.
We saw that predicated in game number 2, right, when Ned went for that really high multi-hit up B. Just, and it kind of looked like random out of nowhere. Like, what are you, was that a misinput? It just looked so strange. But it's just predicating when Ikan is going to focus, right?
Yeah.
If you lock down that focus timing and you're up a stock, seems like an easy recipe for success for me.
That was the foreshadowing to what we just witnessed in that up B call out. It's like, you know, in an anime when the pro tag gets his butt beat by the antag like 4 different times, but he starts to learn things throughout that really weigh into how he beats him in the very end.
Oh, and it cuts back to every single lesson you learned from missing your opportunities.
Right, every single multi-hit up B. That was the one, but it still could be Ikan's story to write here.
Now there's plenty of Smash left to be played between these two. Going for that early, heavy focus just to knock the Sephiroth away, take him away from hiding under this platform. I think that's the key.
Yeah, I do like this stage for Ryu specifically. But it's just hard to land against Sephiroth a lot, so you want to stop getting in these aerial scrambles.
Yeah, if you can keep him in the corner, that will be your recipe for success, but... Oh, okay, going for the tech roll away instead here is Ikan.
Ikan makes it look terrifying to land sometimes too. Like, Ned wants to get to this lower ledge as soon as he can, but Ikan throwing out another Shoryu.
Not quite enough to kill. And there you go, the Tatsu is fresh this time. Going for that instead of the Shoryu, which he just used twice before. That is going to be the first stock lead in a little bit here for Ikan.
Yeah, funny enough, it's like the jab is all he needs sometimes to really get those moving. So he'll fish for it, and when he finds it, that's a stock. But Ned lashing back and getting his own stock.
Yeah, the fade back double back air, just a classic trick from Sephiroth, right? You think when he whips the first one that it's punishable, but instead, he just catches your jump and makes it pay.
Yeah, that's the major look. Tries to catch a jump or even a normal get up with the fireball. It's not going to be enough. But he's kind of just feeling things out. These are proximity fireballs.
Yeah, it's definitely just a game of I'm going to make your neutral a little bit harder here rather than turning anything super violent off of the fireballs, right? And One Wing Angel shows up again, and then Ned's sneaking onto the platform. He's starting to get these tech chases. This could be scary, but high recovery helping Ikan out and call him out on the landing with the Nair. Instant Shoryu stock lead.
Yeah, some of those Nairs were specifically connecting because of his drift and wing, but I feel like Ikan just nailed it down and hit that Shoryu, which he needed, but that is so unfortunate.
Very weird knockback from the Dare that time, unfortunately, for Ikan. He could not quite reach with the Shoryu, and now Ned has a second lease on life here in game number 4. Might be able to shut the door.
Yeah, we keep coming back to these one-stock games. It's never a complete show of dominance, but Ikan really needs this if he wants to show life in this set.
He's getting poked and prodded away, and yep, okay. Ned is able to react if he thinks he's going to miss on that, and a couple more of these up Bs are just so violent, but somehow Ikan recovers.
Somehow, some way, he comes back from the depths. Like I said, it's not over. I mean, Sephiroth's at kill percent. We know how these Ryu
definitely
situations go, yeah. Ned gonna land with these back airs. Ikan not letting it slide.
Really sneaky up B just to get yourself planted on the ground here from Ned. High in the sky. Ooh!
Another one? Is it kill?
Yes, it does, and Ned finishes the game 3 games to 1. A statement victory there, especially as, like, you know, that's how Ryu is, right? Ryu has that comeback factor. You always have to be ready for just the burst out of nowhere like we saw in game number 1, but Ned shut the door very